Alright, students, so welcome back to your GE 112 subject with me, Teacher Amber, and today we're going to discuss the political caricatures of the American era. Okay, so this is about Philippine cartoons, yan. I hope you guys enjoy this topic. I like this very much because there's talks about art also. And however, let's go to the document now. Let's analyze what it is all about and also the author. So the author is Alfred McCoy. Alfred McCoy, ito yung itsura niya. And then, let's have the background of the author. So he was born on 1945 in Massachusetts, United States of America, and his citizenship is United States. He's an American, okay? So Dr. Wilfred W. McCoy is a professor of the Southeast Asian history at the University of Wisconsin at Madison, where he also serves as director of the Center for Southeast Asian Studies. Yan. So he spent the past quarter century writing about the politics and history of the opium trade. Okay? So if you are familiar with the opium trade, it was one of the big one of the big things that we used to discuss in our Philippine history, no, because it used to affect our trade industry. Now, more background for the author. McCoy has spent the past 30 years writing about Southeast Asian history and politics. His publications include Philippine Cartoons in 1985, Anarchy of Families 1994, Closer Than Brothers, Manhood at the Philippine Military Academy 2000, and Lives at the Margin 2001. So, after earning his doctorate degree in the Southeast Asian history at Yale, the writings of McCoy on this region has focused on two topics: Philippine political history and global opium trafficking. The Philippines remains the major focus of his research. His teaching interests include modern Philippine social and political history, United States foreign policy, colonial empires in Southeast Asia, global illicit drug trafficking, and CIA covert operations. Yan yung mga bet na i-discuss ni ating author, si Mr. McCoy, si Dr. McCoy. Okay, so in 1900s to 41, Philippine political cartoons gained full expression during the American era. Filipino artists recorded national attitudes towards the coming of the Americans as well as the changing mores and times. So achievements, yan. Let's talk about the background of this document. While the 377 cartoons compiled in this book speak for themselves, historian Alfred McCoy's extensive research in Philippine and American archives provides a comprehensive background not only to the cartoons but to the turbulent period as well. Okay, so ito yung ating libro, Philippine Cartoons, 1985 yan ha. Philippine Catholic Mass Media Award, Best Book of the Year for 1985, Philippine National Book Award for History 1986, Gintong Aklat Award Manila, and Special Citation for History in 1987. So yan yung mga nag-garner na awards noong book na ito, okay? So let's move on to the definition of terms. So let's understand first now, what are caricatures, aparcero, homestead, and imperialism? So caricatures, a picture, description, or imitation of a person in which certain striking characteristics are exaggerated in order to create a comic or grotesque effect. Okay? So merong mga parts ng mukha na parang pinalaki. You know, what we usually do with caricatures is we get I remember when I had a trip in Manila doon sa Little Italy or Little Venice ata yun. And dun sa Little Venice is merong gumagawa ng caricature. I actually interviewed him, and one thing that he told me is when you're doing a caricature, you just capture the essence of the person. You don't really need to capture the exact features of his face. Merong specific na feature ng face ng isang tao na kinakapture mo para makadrawing ka ng caricature. Kunwari, let's talk about si Bill Clinton. Si Bill Clinton, there is an artist who made a caricature of him, and one of the features of his face na kinapture niya is yung eyes ni Clinton. Kasi yung eyes ni Clinton is parang nakasquint, and also parang meron siyang aura sa kanya na seseryosohin mo talaga siya. So it's not how you actually reflect or how you copy the actual face of the person, no? When you're doing a caricature, you capture the essence of a person. So yun na nga. Um, let's go to apercero or sharecropping, a type of farming in which families rent small plots of land from a landowner in return for a portion of their crop to be given to the landowner at the end of each year. So yan yung apercero. Homesteaders is someone who settles lawfully on government land with the intent to acquire title on it. Homestead, the home and adjoining land occupied by a family. And imperialism, the policy of extending the rule or authority of an empire or nation over foreign countries, or of acquiring and holding colonies and dependencies, advocacy of imperial or sovereign interest over the interest of the dependent states. So yan po ang ating mga terms na makikita dito sa ating discussion. Okay, so let's move to while the priest lives alone in a big building. Okay, so ito ay isang caricature, no? While the priest lives alone in a big building. Like many nationalists of his day, Vicente Soto, the publisher of The Independent, never missed a chance to attack the Catholic Church. Yun yung palaging focus ni Sir Vicente Soto, palaging ina-attack niya yung Catholic Church. Why? There are so many things there are some things that we can observe that may mali sa mga pamamalakad ng Catholic Church kasi minsan hinahaluan na nila yung politika instead of just focusing on the religious aspect of what they're trying to do, no? So yan yung isang caricature. Another caricature that we have is the police force bribed. Yan. So this caricature depicts the first of Manila's periodic police scandals. The cartoonist Fernando Amorsolo gives the illustration a usual racist edge. So if you can see doon sa ating caricature, you can really see na parang may mga shady na nagaganap, no? Kaya yung title ng caricature is the police force bribed? 'Di ba? Sila ba ay puppets lang ng kung sino-sino, 'di ba? Okay, so let's go to another caricature. The name of this caricature is New Bird of Prey, o 'di ba? Birds of Prey, parang yung pelikula lang nila Harley Quinn. So let's see here. The cartoon's caption, I'm sorry. The cartoon's caption, New Bird of Prey, is an allusion to the most famous libel case in the history of the Philippine journalism. Yan, yung pinaka sikat na libel case sa Philippines. O 'di ba? As you can see here, one thing about caricatures is meron silang mga speech bubbles. Okay? So, what can you see in this photo? There's a huge bird, and then you can see that rents and alquileres are depicted as money bags, and then pinuputulan ng pakpak yung ibon. Why do you think so? I want to give you an exercise for this. But let's move to the next caricature. Let's have where the mosquito is king. Okay? So as you can see here, hari-hari yung lamok. Built on a swamp and ringed with streams and ponds, Manila is a natural breeding ground for malarial mosquitoes. The Board of Health distributed millions of doses of quinine and eliminated mosquito breeding grounds by filling up the standing water holes or by spraying them with petroleum. So, one thing about our country is we are a tropical country, and of course, maraming lamok dito sa Pilipinas. And one thing that you would get from mosquitoes, not just dengue, is malaria. Okay? So in this caricature or this editorial cartoon, exaggerated yung pagdepict sa mosquito. Why? Because pinapakita na this little insect has a huge impact to our health. Kaliit-liit ng lamok pero pwedeng pumatay ng tao, 'di ba? So you can see here may hawak na sword yung mosquito, and then may tinatapakan siyang mataba. I surrender to the king, sabi nung caption niya, okay? So let's go to another caption, liberty, equality, fraternity. The Philippine Assembly passed a law authorizing all legislators, active or retired, to bear firearms. The Manila press was outraged, but the legislators ignored the opposition and promulgated the law over the screams of the protest. So you can see here sa caricature natin, para siyang matanda na may hawak na dalawang malaking baril, tapos parang pinagmamalaki pa niya, 'di ba? So what you can get here, and not just on the caricatures that I've showed you can see here that most of the elements of each caricatures are over exaggerated. So let's move to another caricature. Why the Apercero rebels? So why the Apercero rebels? So it shows the form of landlord usury used to strip tenant farmers from their rightful share of harvest. So, di ba? Okay. So let's move to another caricature. A new wrinkle in the art of thieving. This shows city capitalists using the torrents title process, which requirement relinquishment of customary claims to issue titles to grab lands in Nueva Ecija and other central Luzon provinces. So as you can see here, ayan na nga, meron na namang elements dito na over-exaggerated, but basahin natin yung caption. They clean, cultivate, and improve the land while I am the owner with the torrents title. Okay? Elos Lim... Okay? Okay, so what's going to be done about it? Let's move to this other caricature. A sudden and unexpected credit crisis threatens the Negro Sugar crop, and planters respond by lobbying Governor General Francis B. Harrison for relief, fueled by free access to the American sugar market and liberal credit to the newly established Philippine National Bank. The Negro sugar industry grew rapidly during World War I. So that's another one. And Brothers Under the Skin. Brothers Under the Skin urges Filipino to end social conflict and deal with each other fairly. Okay? Another one is as demoralized American soldiers filled the insular civil service and American corporations won the major development projects, Filipino nationalists saw themselves becoming economic aliens in their own land. The cartoon's image of Meralco, ERR, and Elco dragging Juan de la Cruz among the neck as he vomits pesos from his emaciated frame is no overstatement. Yan. Another one, equal work, unequal salary. Why? Okay? When Filipinos began winning civil service appointments after 1913, they found themselves facing serious discrimination in both wages and positions. Harrison, the liberal governor general, read the pro-American hiring policies of the Taft era and began the Filipinization of the civil service. So titingnan nyo, di ba? Dito sa caricature na to, nakikita yung pinagkaiba ng Filipino teacher and American teacher. Mas malaki yung sahod ng isang maestro Amerikano kesa sa maestro Filipino. Okay? Okay, so these are other samples of caricatures.